Today you're going to need a purple block or a book that's about 8 inches long. Maybe you might need a softer tea towel or this foam block, and then your spine bar if you have one, or you can use a rolled up beach towel. So let's just lie down and get ready for our yoga practice. Lying down in Shavasana position with your arms out to your sides. Lift your hips up and just get yourself nice and comfortable. Lengthen out both of your legs and then just notice how you feel. Take a moment. This is called Pratyahara, very important. Yoga is not an exercise, so we really do need to be mindful here. We need to be noticing exactly what we feel as we move through our yoga practice. We're going to work this today with upper back and mid back and lower back. Releasing the spine through mobilizing our shoulders and our hips. Allow yourself to soften. Notice how you feel. How's your back today? Notice right and left side. Just take a moment to notice anything at all. Reminding yourself every day is different. So that's why this is so important. Before you start yoga, how are you doing? Become aware of your breath. How's your breath feeling? Notice the volume of your breath. Notice the rhythm, the rate. Start to get a sense of how your breath breathes you from day to day, from moment to moment. Good. We're going to work with a 3-part breath today. Let's bend our knees, roll over onto your side, lift yourself up, and grab your book or your foam block, not the hard one, the soft one. Or you can do a tea towel as well. We're going to lay down in pre-bridge position. I want you to lift up into bridge. Be sure your legs are in alignment. And bring that block underneath your sacrum. That's that heart-shaped bone. We're going to bring the edge of the block. It's going to go in that horizontal position. We're going to bring that block underneath the sacrum so your hips are lifted up off the floor. Bring the block a little higher up into the just opposite of your navel. Keep your knees bent and just bring your arms out to your sides and then pause here. Excuse me, notice how this feels for you. Good. We're going to breathe into the lower body. This is part of the 3-part breath series. We're going to breathe into that lower body, including the sacrum. That's what the block is there to remind you. And then we're going to allow it to become a full body breath. And then we're going to do several. We're going to do 3 of those. So pause here. Notice if your breath already shifted into your lower body. This is a medium breath, medium in volume. Now let's inhale to exhale. Exhale and soften. And now breathe into that lower body, into that block. Let it rise to become a full body breath. Exhale. And do 2 more. Third one, notice how it feels. Are you able to feel your breath in your block? Exhale. Good. Draw your right knee into your chest, then your left knee. Draw those knees in. Take a breath. Exhale, release your feet to the floor. Good. Lengthen out your right leg, lengthen out your left leg, and do 1 more 3-part breath starting in that lower block. Extended back bend, exhale. Be sure this is agreeable for you. Good. Bring your legs together, bend your knees, lift up, come off the block, and lower your spine to the floor. Good. Knees bent, and do 1 more of those lower breaths without the block. Let it rise up to become a full body breath, and exhale. Good. Roll over onto your side, lift yourself up, and take the block again and bring it into the horizontal position. And bring it at your back, right opposite of that diaphragm. Now this is going to be a back bend, so be mindful. You don't have to use this block if you don't want to. You can just use a lower tea towel. We're going to come down onto our elbows. We're going to bend those knees for support. Elbows on either side of that block. Tuck your chin in and pause here for a moment to ensure that you've got it at those middle ribs, right opposite of the diaphragm. And then you're going to interlace your fingers, hold your skull, draw your chin to your chest, and then slowly lower yourself down on this block. Keep those abdominals activated, release your fingers, or your hands rather, and then bring your skull to the floor. Be sure you've elongated your neck here. This is a back bend. It's a supported back bend. Bring your arms out to your side, shoulder height, palms up, and then pause here. Let's take a moment to integrate this back bend. How does that feel? If this is too high, you can roll over onto your side, come up, and find something lower. You do not have to be here with this high block. Pause. Notice if your breath automatically shifted into your ribs. Now we're going to do that middle breath, and we're going to let it rise up and sink down to become a full body breath. Now you're in a back bend. Be mindful of your volume here. You really need to pay attention to your pranayama. Let's inhale to exhale. Exhale completely. Now easily breathe into those middle ribs. Breathe into that block. Let it rise. Let it sink to the lower, and then exhale. And do 2 more. Notice what you feel. Don't be the overachiever. Don't overdo it. No pinching, no pain. Exhale and release in this back bend. Last one. Initiating middle ribs, floating down to that lower back, flying up to that upper back. Exhale. Now you can stay here for 1 more breath, or you can lengthen out your legs to become a full supported back bend. Pause here. And then do 1 more middle breath. Allow it to become a full body breath. And exhale and soften. Good work. This is so good after a long day at the computer. We're targeting this mid-back. Good. Be here for a moment with your breath. How does that feel? Good. Bring your legs together. Bend both of your knees. We're going to come out of this. Very important to come out the same way you went in. Lift up your hands. Reach up. Find your own head. Draw your head back up. Chin to the chest. Good. Now we're going to roll over onto the side. So you need to keep those abdominals engaged. Release one elbow. And then lift up on that elbow. Take that block out. Come back down onto your back. Interlace your fingers. Let's lower ourselves back down again, just the way we did a minute ago. And then bring your arms out to your sides and pause here. Inhale, breathe in. How does your back feel? Exhale. Let's drop our knees to the right. This targets that area we just let go of. Inhale, breathe in. Do your middle rib breath, upper and lower. Exhale, how does this feel? Inhale to bring your knees back up, straighten out your feet, and then exhale, drop your knees to the left. How does the right side feel? That same area, breathe into those middle ribs. Exhale. Inhale, bring your knees back up. Exhale, pause, and integrate. How are you doing? Good. Draw your knees into your chest. How does that feel? Roll back and forth just a little bit. Let's roll over onto our side, lift ourselves back up again. 1 more position for the block, and then we're going to come onto our seated position, coming into a kind of a dandasana, right, with a straight back. You're going to have your feet on the floor though. You're going to bring that block so that when you land, your head will be on the block, but most of the block is down onto your back, the little tips of your shoulder blades, okay? So you have to kind of slowly lower yourself down, maybe brace yourself with that other elbow. Come down onto the floor. Be sure that your head is on the block, but just barely. Lift up into your very best bridge for a moment. That's it, lifting those hips up. And adjust yourself on that block so that you've got your head just barely on it. And bring your arms down and now lower your hips to the floor. That's it. We're targeting that high area in your shoulder blades and even your neck. Bring those arms out to your sides, shoulder height, palms up. That's it. Elongate your neck. And yes, I know it feels like your shoulders are popping up to the ceiling. You just got a little bit of a lift under those blades. Good. We're going to do that 3-part breath here, lower, middle, and upper. See if you can focus on your back here, and the last little bit goes into this upper back. Don't make it too hard, no strain. Your shoulders don't pop up to your ears. Let's make it an internal breath. This is pranayama. So let's inhale to exhale. Exhale completely. And then now breathe into where that lower block was, where the middle block was, and bring it up to this upper block. And then exhale and soften. You'll find your ribs bob up and down. That's perfect. Inhale, lower, middle, and upper. Exhale and soften. See if you can make it smooth. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Bring your arms up to the ceiling. Bring all your fingertips together, thumb included. Let your elbows be straight. Let your shoulder blades touch that block. You can feel it. Good. Keep the chin level so you elongate through the back of your neck for a moment. And then just bring these arms up over your head. Don't go any further than your shoulders. Don't go any further than your ears. Good. This is shoulder distance apart. Make it easy. Take a breath, lower, middle, and upper. You just come into your very best place. Exhale. Bring those arms slowly back up. Yes, you'll feel them moving along that block. That's perfect. That's why we use a soft block. Let's do that one more time. Bring your arms up over your head, going no further than your ears. That's it. Ribs stay quiet. Neck is not contracted. Nice, beautiful range of motion for your shoulders. Notice that you do need to elongate the back of your neck. Right, your neck does get impacted by moving your arms up. Good. Take your nice, easy 3-part breath here. Exhale. And then bring those arms back up over your head, nice and easy. Good. Arms come back out to your side. Now let's extend out again. You don't have to do this last move. Lengthen out those legs and pause here. Feel the shift in your shoulders, the shift in your neck, and just notice how you feel. This is just releasing the upper spine. Good. Bring your legs together, bend at your knees. Now this is kind of easy. We just have to lift our head up. Take one hand and draw your chin to your chest. Really support your own head. Make yourself like a little abdominal crunch without the abdominals. Reach up with the other hand with that block and just pry it out from underneath you. Interlace your fingers behind your head. Elbows are wide, and now lower. Oh, the space is wonderful. Let go of your hands behind your head. Bring your arms out to your sides. Pause here. Lengthen out both your legs. Good. Now let's do 3 of those full body breaths, 3-part, focusing on where the blocks were. Inhale, lower, middle, and upper. Exhale and soften. Good. Feel all that space in your spine. Inhale, lower, middle, and upper. Exhale. Last one. Try to make it like a wave. Good. Pause. Let your breath breathe you. Good. Bend at your knees. Draw your knees into your chest. We're going to rock back and forth just a little bit. Let's roll over onto our side, lift up, and now we're going to come onto our tummy. I want you to take that tea towel or your block, whatever your support is, and I want you to bring it underneath your pubic bone. We're going to come down onto our elbows, tuck those toes under, and bring that block right underneath the pubic bone. Flatten your feet, your legs are hip distance apart, your elbows are right underneath your shoulders so you have support. Palms down, try to straighten your arms if you can so that we have alignment. This is a very gentle back bend. Notice how this feels. Press into the floor with your palms, your wrists, your forearms, and your elbows, and come up to that highest place on your back with those shoulder blades. Good. Your head is in neutral. You're looking between those wrists, just below those thumbs. Good. And then now breathe that 3-part breath. Bring it into the front of the body, the pubic bone where the block is, ribs, and your upper chest. Good. Notice how this feels. This is as far as you're going to go if you feel like your lower back is at its maximum. You're already on a lift. I want you to look at that space between your wrist and your elbow. That's where your hands are going to go. You're going to engage your abdominal muscles. We're going to come up into Bhujangasana, a nice easy cobra. Bring your hands halfway between your wrists and your elbows. You need to keep those elbows by your sides. You just slide yourself into a nice easy cobra. The elbows are bent. We don't straighten and pop and lock, all right? We want to keep these elbows straight. We also don't want to pop them out to the side. You want to keep those elbows in. This is bone alignment. This creates that energetic flow through your shoulders. Let your lower back release. Lift through your neck so that it becomes neutral, right? We don't scrunch our neck. We keep it in neutral. That's it. And then you release your gluteal muscles just a little bit. Lift through the chest and do your 3-part breath here. You can do it down here if you like, and you can stay back down onto your elbows at any time. Change. This is a back bend going against gravity. Bhujangasana, fantastic as a nice easy back bend. We're using a lift so that we support our lower back. Exhale, good, fantastic. Tuck your toes under if you want to go further, otherwise you leave your hips on that block. Otherwise you lift up. This is upward facing dog. Now you straighten your arms, you drop your pelvis down. Again, another back bend, but you're using a little bit of strength and energy here. Engage those abdominal muscles, arms are straight. It's different from cobra. When you're ready, you do your 3-part breath. Your arms are not locked. Exhale, elongate through your spine. Drop your knees, come back down into cobra, flatten your feet, bend those elbows again. So here's your cobra again, good work. And then come back down onto your elbows, don't collapse, stay here. Track your elbows towards your hips a little bit, and then head is in neutral, and do your 3-part breath. Exhale. Good. We're going to integrate a little bit. Come down onto your chest. Turn your head to one side. Bring your arms down by your sides. Rock your hips back and forth. And pause here. Let yourself integrate for just a moment. Nice easy back bending. Going against gravity using cobra and upward facing dog. Good. Bring your head back to the center, lift yourself up, tuck your toes under, take that block out, and then come down onto the left side of your yoga mat, up onto your elbows. Rock your hips back and forth, flex your feet back so that you really lengthen through those thighs, and then let's just bring this right knee up 90 degrees. So you come up to your hip. Your lower leg is parallel to the floor. This is a nice hip opener, and press up through these elbows. So we're using cobra as a modification to open up through the pelvis. Again, drop that lower back down, coming into the groin of the right hip socket. This is a hip opener. And then do your 3-part breath. Breathe into that lower and middle and upper body. And exhale. Good. Come down into crocodile position. Fold your arms. Lift those elbows up. Rest your forehead on your hands. Good. We lengthen, we tuck the left toe under, lengthen back towards that heel, and then flatten that foot. So now we've got this beautiful flexion. We could go right into triangle pose with this. That's what we're working towards with these legs. Inhale, breathe in, and exhale. Good. The right hip is in flexion, the left hip is in extension. Good. Pause and release. Lift your head up, re-support yourself on your elbows, bring that right leg back down again, tuck both toes under and flex back, flatten your feet and just notice how that feels. Press back up into your modified cobra. Good, and then now let's move to the other side of our yoga mat. So we move over to the right side of our yoga mat, and again, we just find that 90-degree angle with that hip. Bring that knee out. I'll turn around, bring that knee out. 90 degrees, 90 degrees. Don't go any higher. And then parallel for that leg. Good. Tuck the right toe under, lengthen back, flatten the foot, and then extend up through your back bend. So it's a modified cobra. And then inhale, breathe in, that working breath. Exhaling, dropping through this left hip socket now. This is so good for the lower back. This is a dynamic movement for this left hip. Breathe in, lower, middle, and upper. Keeping supported by your elbows. Shoulder distance apart. A lot of reminders. Good. And now we're going to come down. Crocodile position. Make sure those elbows are open so your shoulders are still working. Rest your forehead on your hands. And do 2 breaths here. Tuck that right toe under, lengthen through that right thigh. Lift your head up, come back up into your modified cobra. Pause here for a moment. Good. Tuck that right toe under, release that leg back again. Good. We're going to come up onto our elbows, come up onto our hands and knees. Let's come into just a little dog stretch. So we come into that nice dog stretch, hands are shoulder distance apart. Straighten through the elbows, knees are hip distance apart. Tuck those toes under, lift up easily, and just come back. Just come back into your very best downward dog. Remind yourself, if you're hyper flexible, don't come through your underarms, right? I know the calves are a little bit tight, so are the hamstrings. That's what this is for. Your head floats in between your arms. You inhale, lower, middle, and upper, and exhale. Dog stretch, downward facing dog is so nice for many things, but the main thing is that it's a neutral spine. Neutral spine. Good. And then very gently come back down onto your knees. And then let's just come into hero pose for a moment. If you need to put a block between your heels and your bum, that's perfectly fine. You come into your hero pose. That brings me up out of the shot. So we just come into hero pose. That's it. And pause. Notice how you feel. And come down back onto your back again, and let's work a little bit with the spine bar to get ourselves ready for our Trikonasana. Fold your spine bar, or you can use a rolled up beach towel. We're going to use it so that it's right at the back of our diaphragm, right across the opposite part of our diaphragm. One hand comes up, one hand goes behind you, and then you just get your nice landing right on the middle of that back. Just opposite of that diaphragm. Lift up your hips and bridge, lower yourself back down again, bring your arms out to your side and just pause. Keep your knees bent for the time being, and as usual, very important to remember that no pain, no radiating pain, no numbness, tingling, nothing associated with nerves can happen when you're on the spine bar. That includes anywhere in your neck or your head. We just pause here for a moment. If you feel like that the spine bar is too hard for you, you can take your block or your book, which is the softer one, lift up and put it up underneath your sacrum. Bring your arms out to your side, and that relieves a little bit of that extra pressure on your spine. But ultimately, the spine bar being used without the block is what we do want. But for now, if you need it, go ahead and use it. That's fine. Arms out 45 degrees or even 90. And let's do our 3-part breath. Inhaling into that lower block if you have it, or the imaginary one. Middle and upper. And exhale. Let the spine bar do all the work for us. This is releasing us in our upper shoulders and upper back. Use that 3-part breath where those imaginary blocks are. Three breaths here. Good. And then bring your arms up to the ceiling and turn your palms and face them away from you. Open your eyes so you can see that your wrists and your elbows are not locked, but your arms are energized. Drop your thumbs down to make an L or a goalpost. The left hand is making the proper L, the right hand is making a backwards L, and I want you to relax your shoulder blades to a neutral position along your back. Elongate your neck just a little bit, and then very gently we're going to move slowly. We're not going to go any further than our ears. I want you to move very slowly, no rib cage popping, no neck tensing. We're finding nice easy range of motion as we bring our arms up over our head. Come to your very best place. No pain, no popping, no crunching. And then inhale that 3-part breath, calming your nervous system down. Relax your neck. And then exhale, just integrating this new place. Do that one more time. Bring your arms back up to the ceiling. Notice how your shoulder blades glide and your shoulder sockets move. And then do that again, rotating those arms up over your head. Try not to let those elbows bend, right? The elbows don't bend. They don't do the job for us. It's shoulder movement. So maybe you only go halfway. No ego. Just take the ego out of it. This is about repairing and recovering your natural range of motion. We need to be really truthful with ourselves. Make sure that you can only go as far as is agreeable for you. And then bring your arms all the way back up again to the ceiling. And then bring your arms back out to your sides, palms up, and just take a nice integration breath. It's here you might want to take out your block and just notice if it's agreeable to be on the floor without the block. Pause here, just let that spine bar do the work. Good. And then gently roll over onto one side, lift up, take that spine bar out, place it above you, and come back onto the floor. Knees bent, arms out, and just notice how you feel. Readjust your spine and give yourself a nice breath in through your back. Lower, middle, and upper. Good. And then now take your purple block. You can use your soft lower block as well. Use your purple block, and we're going to bring that underneath our sacrum and work just a little bit with the hips before we come up to a standing position. Take your block so that it's in a horizontal position. Lift your hips up and bring your hips underneath that block, that purple block. Bring it right onto your sacrum so it's quite the lift. Bring your arms out to your side, shoulder height, knees bent. We're just going to pause here for just a second. Let yourself settle, let that lower back relax. And then draw your right knee into your chest. Interlace your fingers up close behind that knee joint. And then straighten that right leg up to the ceiling. Go ahead and press away from you just a little bit to lift those shoulder blades off the floor. Find a nice ergonomic way of using your arms and your leg together here. And then let your hip relax. Both hips sink into the block. You're on a little bit of a lift, so this is going to help release your lower back. And then inhale, breathe in here. And exhale. Keep your leg in alignment with the hip socket from time to time. Lengthen the back of your neck. And now bring awareness to your left foot and straighten out your left leg. Slide it along the floor. Don't lift it. Slide it along the floor and feel the extension in one leg and the flexion in the other. This is going in front and back extension as opposed to side. And then inhale here. Try to keep your right leg straight. Inhale. And then as you gently draw this right leg in towards your chest, you're going to feel your left leg following you a little bit of energy in both legs. Good. Your elbows are going to bend gently and you relax your hips into the block. Keep them level. Inhale, breathe in. That 3-part breath. Good. And then release that right leg so it's straight up and down. Bend at the left knee. Let go of your right leg. Bend both your knees, arms out to your sides. And then let's just lengthen out both of our legs a little wide and just notice how that feels on that right hip. Take an integration breath here. It's just a brief hip opener using a block. Exhale. This targets the SI joints and lower back usually through that hip socket. Slide your legs back together, bend both of your knees, and let's do the left side. Interlace your fingers behind your left knee. Go up close into that joint, straighten the left leg, and then press that left leg away from you just a little bit so that your arms are straightened and your shoulder blades lift just a little bit up off the floor. Not much. Your neck is relaxed, your hips are balanced. Try not to hike up that left hip. Take a breath in here so you find that nice relationship between arms and leg. It's nice to have a good Hastabandha hand lock here. Good. And then slide that right leg straight down along the floor and then relax it. A little bit of energy in both of your legs. That's it. Good. And then inhale, breathe in. And then as you exhale, you draw this straight left leg in towards your body. Your elbows, the only thing that's going to bend. Your neck relaxed, legs energized. Just releasing extension through that right leg and flexion in the left leg. Relax your lower back. Don't let it tense up. Elongate your neck. Come to your very best place where you're working with your legs. That's it. And your lower back is supported by the block. You're releasing here. Last breath. Good. And then release that left leg straight up to the ceiling. Bend at your right knee. Let go of that left leg. Both feet on the floor. Arms out to your sides. And then lengthen out both your legs. Take a breath in. Be sure this is agreeable for you. It's kind of a high back bend on the block. And then inhale. And exhale. Slide your legs together, bend both of your knees. Feet hip distance apart. We're going to use bridge now because we need to come off of this block. So be sure you're in alignment with your legs. Lift up slowly, take the block out, place it off to the side, and then lower yourself one little spinal bone at a time, all the way to the floor. Good. Lengthen out both your legs, roll your palms up, and pause. How are you feeling? How's your lower body feeling? Good. Draw your knees into your chest and then gently rock back and forth. Just a little counter pose to your back bend. So that was a back bend going against gravity, right? So we're pulling in here. Good. And then roll over onto your side. Lift yourself up to a seated position. And then we're going to come up to standing. So as you come up to standing, come into Tadasana. Feel your legs grounded into the earth. Your neutral spine, we've worked on that with our breath work. Let everything rise, all the beautiful curves in your spine. We've worked just a little bit with Trikonasana or triangle pose. It requires to have open hips. There's a little bit of rotation in the ribs that makes me really easy. Pause in Tadasana, feel yourself grounded into the earth. And you're going to open your legs as wide as you think they are long. So that takes a little bit of time sometimes to figure that out, or a few times what I mean. Get that distance between your legs here. And then all we're going to do, cut. As you've come up to standing, find Tadasana. Feet are hip distance apart, shoulders are relaxed. Spine is in neutral. And just pause and feel what it feels like to have your spine at ease. Remind yourself not to drop into your patterns, the Pink Panther, right? Or the Donald Duck. Right? Just stay in neutral, find that place in the middle. And then open your legs as wide as you think they are long. It's a general comfortable position. Bring your hands onto your hips and relax your shoulders. Your sacrum is in neutral. And then just take your right foot and just bring it out 90 degrees. Be mindful if you have hip issues and knee issues, you may not be able to go completely 90 right away, and that's all right. but just give it a try to begin with before you do any weight bearing. We're going to work a little bit in triangle pose. I want you to bend at your knee just a little bit and bring your knee in and out, right? Just slowly, just to see how it feels to move. But triangle pose is actually with our legs straight. It's not a bent knee. So we want to be mindful that it's not locked, but it's soft. It's pliable for us. Now, as soon as you did that, we're going to bring the left heel and just kick it out a little bit. Not much, just a little. Be very mindful not to track your hips to the right. That's a whole different yoga pose. We're going to try to keep our hips level if we can, or facing forward. That's where we find that hip opening. Now, triangle pose is about hip openers. It really is. Soften both of your knees for a moment and see what you can do by just rocking your hips back and forth. Try to make it a pure hip movement, not necessarily rocking back and forth in your legs, but in your hips. That's it. So just find that range of motion that you have, because we want to work within the range of motion that you have. Now, straighten both of your legs. That's it. And let's just bring our hands on top of our shoulders. Elbows pointed away so that they're shoulder height. You've got these upper arm bones shoulder height. That's good. Now, we're going to stay in this position. Imagine you've got that wall behind you, and I want you to keep your body in that same plane. Now, I want you to move your hips. I want you to drop down into that right hip a little bit. You can feel the muscles starting to work. You feel that left hip kind of coming back. It's an extension. The right hip is starting to flex. And notice as your body's starting to come forward a little bit, or sideways rather. Allow yourself to come sideways to where it's agreeable. It's a nice easy side bend. Your elbows are still pointing the way. You're still facing forward. That's it. And then just drop your right hand down. Bring the back of your knuckles onto your leg, wherever that happens to land. That's it. Relax your legs. Knees are soft. Head is forward. That's it. And then just release your left arm up to the ceiling. That's it. So here's your very best triangle. Trikonasana. There's a rotation in your spine. There's flexion and extension in your hips. That's perfect. Remind yourself that you're against a wall, and then inhale, breathe in here. If your neck gets tired, you just turn and look down at that right leg. Beautiful. Let's do our 3-part breath here. Lower, middle, and upper. Find ease in this asana. Find ease in it. An imaginary rope that you're holding with that left arm. And exhale. That's it. You're going to feel the heat and the energy starting to move. If you want to add a little bit more energy to this, you look up at that left arm, but only as far as your neck goes. Don't crank your neck, right? Otherwise, stay straight or keep your head down by that right foot. And then one more breath here in triangle pose. Feel the energy in your legs. Let your ribs side bend. It's coming from the pelvis. This is a pelvic move. Good. And then to come out of it, we bend at that left elbow. We soften our knees. We bring our right elbow back. And then we come back up to our starting position. Good. Release your arms down. Bring that right foot forward and heel toe yourself back into Tadasana. And just feel all that wonderful energy that Trikonasana cultivates for us. Pause. Good. And then let's do the other side. Open your legs as wide as you feel they are long, so it's the same as before. Bring your hands onto your hips, standing down through both legs, and just 90 degrees to start with if you can with that left leg. Now this hip might be tighter. It is for me. So I might not go a full 90 degrees. I don't want to overstretch my knee. Pause here for a moment. Bring that right foot in a little bit so the right heel kicks out just a little. Not so that it twists the pelvis, right? Stay forward and relaxed. That's it. Fantastic. And then let's see how your hips move in this direction. Dropping into that left hip. So it's kind of like doing a hula hoop, right? You're going back and forth with your hips. Your shoulders stay rather quiet. This is mainly a hip movement. This will help release that lower back. It's wonderful. Good. And then come into that left hip. So you start that side bending. It just starts to begin from the pelvis. Bring your hands onto your shoulders. Your elbows are pointing the way. Everything is soft and easy. Good. And then come into that bend with the pelvis. That's as far as it goes. There you go. There's your hips. There's your hip movement. That's as far as it goes. Bring that left arm to the inside of your knee and then bring the right arm up. And then from here, you let your hips start to open. You imaginary wall behind you. Your head is forward. Let your left ear follow your left shoulder. It's relaxed, right? No scrunching. So you might go further on this side. Bring that right arm up to the ceiling. If this is too challenging, then you put your hand on your shoulder. This is easier for the shoulder blade if you have tight shoulder blades to keep the elbow bent. This is extension. It's pretty full. Rotate yourself back towards that wall a little bit, and then inhale here. Again, you can look down at that left foot, you can look forward, or you can look up at that right hand, whatever's agreeable for you. Don't overwork yourself. There's a lot going on here already. And then do your 3-part breath. Notice as you inhale, your ribs expand. You might be able to get a little bit more into your Trikonasana. Let your hips relax, knees are soft. This is coming from the hips, and then the rib cage follows through on Trikonasana. Good. We're going to do one more breath here. Accommodate your stretching and your flexibility as it happens. Feel the heat as it's coming. Trikonasana is great. It's that Kundalini energy coming right up from the base of our spine. Good, very nice. And then gently bend at that left elbow, right elbow, come back up. That's it. Release your hands down, walk that left foot in, and then heel toe yourself back together again in Tadasana. How does that feel? Pause. Notice how the energy of your Tadasana has changed. Release your hips, let your spine be in neutral. And then very gently drop your chin to your chest, soften your knees. And then begin a slow forward bend. Very slow forward bend roll, coming all the way down until you come to a place where it's easy. I know your hamstrings, you can feel them. You can bend your knees as you need to. Let your head completely relax. Let your arms dangle down in front of you. Just a little counter pose for your spine. Feel the weight in your heels and the balls of your feet equally. That's it. And then bend your knees a lot and then roll yourself back up again. Take a breath in. Exhale. And let's come down onto the floor. Let's come down into Shavasana. We're going to do a little stretch before we go into our Shavasana. Bend your knees, bring your arms out to your side shoulder height. Take a nice easy breath in, and then exhale and drop your knees to the right. That's it. And then keep your head towards the ceiling. Inhale, breathe in. You might feel more flexibility here. And exhale. Inhale, bring your knees up. Exhale, drop your knees to the other side. And take a nice easy breath in. And then draw your knees back up. That's it. And then lengthen out both of your legs. Both of your legs. Good. Pause here. And then just whatever you like for your Shavasana, a bolster, a little short pad under your head, whatever it is that you like, go ahead and grab it now. Get yourself settled. And pause. Let your breath breathe you. Let your body settle, let it relax. Feel all your energy as it reestablishes neutral and peace, center, stable, grounded. I am being breathed by my breath. I allow my breath to breathe me. Feel the gentle pull of Earth's gravity. Surrender your body. Allow your physical body to have no distractions at all. Only feelings of peace and softness. so that you can move on to the other levels of who you are, all the different parts of who you are. You're not just your body. Open to all possibilities. I am being breathed by my breath. I allow my breath to breathe me. Shavasana is where we rediscover ourselves. We let our bodies reorganize. We let our spirit recharge. Allow this to happen for you. Give yourself the gift of doing nothing. Notice your mind. Sense and feel your body. Feel your breath breathing you, supporting you. Feelings of peace. Life is good. You deserve this time to rest, to move, to breathe. It's your investment. Gently allow yourself a nice easy inhalation to bring the breath in, to slowly reawaken yourself. Gently wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Roll your head from side to side, just slowly reawakening physically. Bending your knees, drawing your knees into your chest whenever you're ready. And just rolling back and forth. Take a nice deep breath in here. Gently bring yourself up to a seated position. Roll over onto your side. Lift yourself up. Come to your favorite seated position. Bring your hands in Anjali Mudra with deep gratitude for yourself, for carving out this little bit of time for yourself. Come forward. Deep gratitude for yourself. And then inhale to come back up. And exhale. Namaste.